Well, hey there, my friends. Welcome to my channel, Ink and Wednesday. I'm Laura Daniels, and I always love it when we have this time together, just scrapbooking like old friends. Today, we are using the May 2025 Vintage Memories Hip Kit Club kit. It is filled with everything nostalgia, and I have found the perfect photo, and it's the only photo. And I really didn't even know the story to tell about it. It's one of those where I had to bring it down to my husband and say, Jerry, do you remember where we were and what we were doing? What I do remember, though, are my feelings when I took this photo of our son Dwayne and daughter Lauren. Dwayne was 9 years old, so that made Lauren 4 years younger. So she was five, and they were just looking out over the river. And then over to the side, we saw a water spout in a distance developing over the water. So it was a really fun memory. But this is the photo, and we are putting our journaling on a secret pull tab. So here's our journaling. I'm excited to share that with you. We're also going to be doing some work with ink and some splattering. And in every hip kit club now, when you order the kit, they have, Kimberly does these. She creates 3 different layouts. So the first thing you see is what you take out of the kit and set aside for each one of these pages. And then on the back, it shows the progression of how to put the pages together. So we're going to do this single page layout. And of course, I'm just using it as a jumping off spot. And that's a terrific way to use these. I love how she brought all this together. But I'm just using pieces of ephemera that complement the photo. And then we're going to do some background stamping and splattering. So we're going to see how this comes together. I am going to set this aside right here, and I want to show you the bits of ephemera that we are going to be using. To do some work in the background, I'm going to be using Distressed Oxide Ink Stormy Sky, and then we're going to be using Distress Oxide Spray Tumbled Glass. And here is the first one of our clusters, and this is like a fabric that's coated. It is so cool. And then, of course, I've already added my string. And I'm going to be focusing on the colors, this blue, anything that's a light pink, and then black and white for the ephemera clusters. Here is the second cluster. And one of the things that comes in the kit is this film strip. And you notice that when she was showing this right here, see how she has the film strip? She cut it in half. So in the first photo of the layout, you see the bottom edge of that. But as you progress through it, it covers it all up. So it looks like you have 2 different film strips. So it's pretty cool. So we're going to be using these fun different pieces. And then on the last one, we have the title. And this came in one of the ephemera kits. And this is called Timeless Memories. And I just thought it was absolutely perfect for the message that I wanted to tell. So we are going to move things out of the way. We are going to get started, and you're going to see this page come together, and it's just so fun. All right, let me just lift these up right here and move them over. All right, so these are the pieces of cardstock I'm going to be using, and I'm going to create a frame. I've already gutted this out because I used this to mat my photo, and I just love this color. So the first thing we're going to do is lay these down, and then we're going to do some art on the white piece. So let's lay these down. I'm not going to attach this yet because we're going to be moving things around. So the next one is this piece of cardstock, and it is cut at 11.5 by 11.5. And I have found, you could go around the edge. Look at this. How do you choose which side to use, right? It's hard. I am going to run this along the edge. I think it'll be easier. And let's go a little straighter than that. If I hold my hand, but don't squeeze too hard with the glue. Okay, this is going to either go real good or real bad because I put a lot of glue. What is the matter with me? Okay. Let's go to this side. Okay. Actually, it's quite a bit of room, so I think it's okay. All right, so let's lay this down, get this centered, so I'm more apt to get this next page centered. I should lay it down so that it's even all the way around. And there we go. And once you lay it down, you got a little bit of wiggle room, which is always helpful in these situations. There we go. All right. Boy, every time I look at it, it looks a little off. Oh, I think that's better. Okay. All right. And then I cut this piece down, and this was at 11 1/4. And this has a real pretty doily on the back, which is kind of cool. I think I'm going to put this piece. This doesn't really matter where I put this because you're only seeing the edge. And again, you could gut this out too. But I chose not to. Okay. There we go. And now what I want to do, I feel some glue right there, is I do want to do glue dots because this is driving me crazy. Okay. All right, so let's lay this down. Should have done it to begin with, but I just had that one outline for the bottom, you know, and it was gutted out, so it was rather flimsy. Okay, so now we have our piece of white, which is going to go in the middle, and this is what we're going to build everything on. And I want to do some stuff. I can't think of a single thing. We're going to do some splattering with this, and then we're going to do some smushing with this. So I'm going to bring out any of you that used to be with Close to My Heart, or you remember Close to My Heart, we had this wonderful mat, and it's to do painting and splattering on it. It doesn't get all over the place. And I'm just moving it right here, and I want to show you how I do this. So you know how you get the wrapping and for your packaging, right? Cut different rectangular pieces out of it and just keep it with a clip, just like this. That's how I do it anyways. I mean, you do what's going to make you happy. And then you get a block, an acrylic block, and you are going to take your distressed ink or Stampin' Up ink, Close to My Heart ink, whichever ink, and you're going to make several passes with the ink pad, and then you're going to take your water spray. You're going to spray right here to get it nice and watery, and then you're going to take your piece of wrap. You see how I'm kind of just pulling it up with my hand? All right. And now you're just going to go like this, get it all over the plastic. And you're going to go like this. And what I was trying to create in the background for this single page scrapbook layout was the sky. Because you remember in the photo, it is that beautiful. I want to move them around a little bit. Like that. And I'm just doing these two corners, okay? And I'm going to put this aside. I will throw that away. And then I'm going to take out the Distressed Oxide Spray tumbled glass. I didn't want to use the exact same color. I wanted something a little different. And then you literally unscrew it, because you could spray it, but I'm taking the cap off, and just go like this. Look how pretty that looks, right? And I don't have, and then kind of turn it over, okay? Now, you have to let this dry. But since I have the stormy sky here, and I have the splatter, I wanted the splatter over the whole thing, and I had to let this dry a couple of hours, because see the bigger splotches, they will smear if you touch them. So we're going to set all this aside, and through the magic of YouTube, I am able to show you the one that I already did. And when I was doing the one for the actual scrapbook page, I was a little more careful and conscientious, and I had it coming down and up this way. But you'll see that. So we're just going to set this aside. And I'm going to bring in the one I already created, which is right here. And we're going to lay this down. And it is already dry because it is hard. When you do that online and you're ready to finish the scrapbook page, it is hard to wait for it to dry. And you know what happens? You end up smearing something. All right, so we want this up here like this. We're going to get it in the middle. Look how pretty it looks already. It just looks so nice. It's all dry. A little bit of artwork. Let's get this stuff out of the way. Okay, so now we're going to bring in, because this photo is going to go in the middle, right? But it is the last thing I'm going to attach because I need to fit my journaling underneath it. And I cannot stick these down and then still be able to work the ephemera underneath it. So what we will do is attach the photo to the mat. And this cardstock I use from the gut out piece of the original piece there. All right, so let's just set this right here. And I love everything about this photo. Lauren with her pigtails and her cute little dress. I wish I knew what they were talking about. I wish I remembered. I wish I'd written it down, you know. All right, so let's set these over here. And we do need this in the middle because I need to work around it with all the ephemera. And the first cluster we're going to build is the one that's over here. Now this, and I have ink all over me, but that's kind of the way it goes, isn't it? Okay, I want this about right up here. I love that. The world needs more of who you were made to be. Isn't that neat? All right, so I have this at about the 3, and it's pretty much in the middle. And I'm just going to start laying things underneath for about where I want them. And then what I'll do is I will glue them everything down except for this photo. So let's take care of all these right here. This tag, that was a piece of ephemera, I went around the sides using that same distressed oxide ink pad. So this is going to go about right here. And it's going to be hard because everything's going to be moving around. It's going to be driving me crazy. And we are going to put this tag down here on the bottom. Doesn't quite make sense when you're looking at it, but it does all come together. Now this is that, I just love film strips, and I wish I had a die that cut them this size. You could just do a lot of strips, and you could do it in any color you wanted. That would be pretty neat. All right, so we're going to put this about right here. And I want this up above that. I want this right like that. I can tell already this is going to drive me crazy. Okay, until I glue it down. And then this is going to go over the top down here. Yeah. So I may just glue this down because nothing is going further over on this side. So we're going to start from the bottom. We're just going to wing this. I know this is going to go about right there. Here we go. Here we go. I want it up higher. About right there. Okay. Now we'll stick this one in. This makes sense. Okay. And I want this. You know what? I want it under that. Well, you know, it doesn't matter. Nope, I do. I do. So if we're putting this at about right there, I want that showing. I want that right there. Okay, there. Now we're going to stick this down. And I told you this kind of feels like that fabric. I have no idea how to describe how this feels. It's like fabric coated with something. That's what it feels like. Okay. Want this right there. And then this, we need some glue. And I had this set the wrong way. So I need to unstick it. Put a little bit of glue, just a little bit. It's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be in a sheet protector in an album, right? All right, now this is going to go, needs to go under there just a bit. It's going to go about right there. What I don't want is that being a straight line. Remember, I've shared with you guys is that something that I try to be very conscientious of. There we go. I almost had this line with this line. So see how I'm trying not to have anything match up. Goodness, allergies. It is hotter than blazing Jimmy's outside. Okay, we're going to put this right there. There we go. Okay, looks good, looking good. All right, this is the string that I use. Let's put this right here. Okay, let's do the bottom. And I'm not going to have the tag this way because I don't want notes upside down, but I want this color. So this is going to hang down right here, about right there. And then we're going to take this little, looks like a ticket, kind of cool looking. And it's going to go, and I do want it on top of that. As you notice, there's pink over here, so I need a little bit on this side. Okay, and now we're going to take this circle. I want this under the corner here. Okay, and then we're going to take this. I hate seeing that ink on my thumb, but nothing I can do about it right now. Gotta peel this off. Okay, and we're going to put this. I do want to lift it up. Stick it underneath. It's going to go right there. All right, there we go. So this goes about right here. And then we have this tiny little butterfly. We're going to put him. You should see, I literally flick stuff on the floor. There is a trash can down there, but it is too much to think about when I'm doing this to look down and glance as to where the actual trash can is. So after I'm done filming, you will see me editing the video. And then while the video's uploading, I am picking up all the trash on the floor. All right, where do we want this? Get this back. This is about right here. And I want this so I can see it. About right there. I like that. Okay, I like it. Now, Timeless Memories. I absolutely love this one. And the coloring is perfect. So this is going to go right down here. There we go. All right, now I need to put this down first, I believe. And it's going to go about right here. And when I'm all done, I'm going to show you the sketch because I work so good when I have some inspiration in front of me to kind of help me to jumpstart. So I will show you that when this is done so you can see where I got my inspiration from, even though it doesn't look exactly like it. And again, I don't want it going straight up and down, do I? I don't want a linear line. And I'm paying attention to where that is. We're going to put this about right here. It is looking so pretty. And then we're going to use black and white. And you've noticed in some of my previous videos, if there's an image I like, and I don't necessarily color them all or stamp them on colored cardstock. Sometimes I'll just stamp them on black and white and look how pretty it looks. Right? Right? Okay. There we go. A little further in, so it's not linear. let's put our little butterfly down. Off to the side, which you can't see, I have my iPad with a photo of the completed spread so I can look at it, and I have a general idea of how I want things to go. But if you think I'm doing this from memory and on the fly, that's so not happening. That is not how I did it. Okay. All right, so now we're going to put this circle because we have it on this side, and I want it up here, but it's going to be under the flower. So where's my handy dandy thing? I was doing pretty good. So let's lift this up. And when these get dirty, if you just get a cotton swab and some rubbing alcohol, it takes all that right off. Because I know if you're like me, it gets all gummed up. All right, so let's do this. And when we're all done, I am going to, after we put the journaling in, I'm going to show you, read you the journaling. And I'm going to show you where I put it. Okay, here we go. Now, these were flags, pieces of ephemera. I went around the edge with that same blue, which I need a little more because it didn't look as dark right there. Okay. And I do not want this right up to the edge, but it's at the edge at the top. Okay. So it's going to go right here. And then I want my little bit of pink. I don't want to show a whole bunch of this, but just enough to show a little bit of the mauve. And we're going to put it about right there. And then I went around these edges also. And we're going to put this one covering up more of that mauve. And you see how, again, I varied the height, the length, and the width of what I'm showing in each of these. And now we're going to take this teeny little butterfly. This will be interesting. See if I can get this off. These are hard to see and to peel. Almost. There it is. Oh, I got it. Thank goodness. And I'm going to use our tweezers to lay this down because I want him right on top there. How does that look? Okay. Now, I want to use a glue dot and secure that down. And then I'm going to show you how I do the hidden journaling and read it to you, and we will be all set. Oh, I got to show you the original, don't I? Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Aren't you excited? That's just going to be fun. Oh my gosh. I kill myself sometimes. Okay. Yeah, we got to secure that. See, can you see now why I did not secure the photo? I even wrote myself a note. Do not tape photo down. I also have a little note sheet when I'm filming. Things to do and things not to do. Do not tape photo. Oh, that looks good. Yes. Do I need to do this one? I think I'll do a little bit on that one too. Otherwise, they're going all nilly-willy on you. Okay. So let's secure this one down. And you can also tie a knot on the end. That's something you want to do? Okay. There we go. Now, we can safely secure this down, right? Have I dotted all my I's and crossed my T's? Because this is going to go in the back. All right. This was a piece of ephemera. I'm going to glue this down right here on the top. Let me read you the journaling. And all I did was in PDF, I measured the width of this. I went a little shorter. I typed up my journaling, and I'm just attaching this right here. That's it. Isn't that so easy? And this is my tab, right? So let me read you the journaling, and then we'll put this together. I've always loved these kinds of photos. I wish I could go back in time and simply cherish the moment of hearing them talking together, brother and sister, as they looked out over the water. It was 1999, and Dwayne and Lauren were only 9 and 5 years old and the very best of friends. We were a Navy family then living in Chesapeake, Virginia, and had taken a drive down to the North Landing River in Pungo. We stopped here to take a look around and then saw a water spout off in the distance. That's all I need to know. That's all I remember. But it still tells a story and kind of creates the ambiance around the photo, doesn't it? Yeah. All right, so let's peel these off. Now, one of the things I was conscientious of is where I wanted this tab to show underneath the photo. I didn't want it in the middle. I wanted it over to the right. So when I put the foam adhesive, I made sure I had it so that it would fit over here on the right side. So we're going to peel these off. I'm going to show you how this all looks come together. And in the comments below, tell me if you've ever been to Virginia and you've ever been to the North Landing River in Pungo. And when you're doing a scrapbook layout, do you like having a sketch to look at just to jump off of, or do you like to follow it literally? I like to use it as a jumping off spot. Okay, let's get this straight. I think that's good because there is literally no going back. Okay, let's put this in. That'd be so funny if it doesn't work. There. Made me a little nervous, people. All right. Well, there we go. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me lift it up and give you a close-up. Oh, here we go. Look at how pretty this looks on the side here. And then I'm going to show you the sketch. These came out real good. And you know they were fading into the white cardstock until I outlined them. And I love it when we use a glue dot to secure these. You can see how I balanced it out with the pinks, the mauves, and the blues. This looks real good. I love these stickers that came in the kit. And then, of course, we have the butterflies. And my title looks perfect. I absolutely love how this photo came out, the page and the spread. So let me bring in the sketch that I used. Now see, Kimberly's extremely talented to begin with, but you can see how I changed it up a bit by doing the background stamping. I don't have as much yellow in it. I balanced more of the colors that would work with my photos, but this gave me the perfect jumping off spot, the spot for inspiration. All right, my friends, again, this is the Hip Kit Club Vintage Memories. And until we meet again, have an incredible day. Stay crafty. God bless, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.